This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe, talking about ways you can work to better prepare for your financial future. RetirementKeyRadio.com is where you can go to begin your own conversation with Abe and the team at Abich Financial Services. Again, that's RetirementKeyRadio.com. It's maybe one place for certain you can find Abe lately, because I feel like every time we talk, we're talking about how you're running in and out of town, which is a summertime problem I get. But this past trip you took was actually a work trip.
Mostly work. A little bit of play, but mostly work. Nashville in and out for a conference within like a day and a half. Right. Not enough time. Wish I had more time in Nashville, but we had a lot of fun and got to meet a few celebrities that we'll talk about. That's
right. I was going to say, and anybody that has done work conferences, you know that it's like 36 hours of just information overload being thrown at you.
That's right.
And this one was no exception, but you did get to have some cool moments and some interesting things going on while you were on this trip. One of them was sitting down and having your own one-on-one conversation with Candace Owens, that many know. She's an American conservative, political commentator, author, activist, television presenter. One little snippet that really caught my attention, Abe, when I was listening to this conversation was this question that you yourself posed to Candace.
You've hinted at running for Senate. So if you did and you were elected, what would you do with taxes?
Oh, well, I don't know if I would run for Senate today, but the answer to taxes is to always lower them or abolish them, because taxation is theft and it is really unbelievable. You know what I also might do is implement a policy where people actually get to see how they're spending their taxes. I think it's ridiculous that I can log on to Chase Bank and see how I'm spending my money, and yet we don't have a clear access in terms to how the government is spending our money. And I think that if more people were engaged in that way, as if it were their own money, because it is their own money,
exactly,
they would vote differently.
I love her idea there. That is something that seems so obvious that I've never thought of. Why don't we get to see exactly where and how our tax money is being spent?
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see behind the scenes like that. Of course not, but you got to love her answer, though. She says abolish taxes, right? Yeah. Eliminate and abolish taxes, man. That's what everybody wants to hear. And, you know, unfortunately, taxes are probably going to be our biggest expense in retirement, Heather. And unfortunately, most Americans have bought into the myth that, you know, when they started working and accumulating throughout their working career, that when they retire, they're going to be in a lower tax bracket. So why not just max out all of your pre-tax 401ks and IRAs? Take the tax break and deduction today, because when you retire, you'll have less income. You're not working anymore. And naturally, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. I think that's the biggest myth of retirement planning. And so for a lot of people in the DC metro area, that's simply not true. We have a lot of former military, a lot of former federal government employees with CSRS and FERS pensions and military pensions and VA disability and personal private pensions, and then a few Social Security checks. And then you add on $500,000, $1 million, $2, $3 million in personal savings and the TSP and IRAs and 401ks and all these things. And then RMDs hit at 73 and beyond. And you could have more income, way more income in retirement for a lot of people in the DC metro area than when they were working. And then you add in fewer deductions because we're not working anymore. House is paid off. We're not maxing out the TSP and 401k. And then you add in a change to the tax code where taxes are supposed to go up and scheduled to go back up January 1st of 2026. And man, we could have a lot of tax risk if, even though we've done a good job of saving, let's just say you've got $1 million and that was your goal and you've hit the $1 million mark. If it's all on the pre-tax side of your plan and you haven't paid taxes yet, you know, today you don't have $1 million. You probably have $750, $850, you know, net of tax. And if taxes go up, you could have less. So we really want to address that. And we want to think about wrapping safety valves and layers of protection all around your life savings. You've worked for this for the last 30 to 40 years. Taxes are going to be one of our biggest expenses in retirement. We got to plan for them. So, you know, Candace was talking about abolishing taxes. I love that, right? I love that. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no. And here's the thing, as I always say, I am a patriot and I don't mind the taxes that go towards our infrastructure, paved highways, supporting our military, et cetera.
Sure.
It's the excess that has so many of us so frustrated.
And just raising taxes just because, come on, that's not the solution for everything, you know, and just taxing the rich or whatever just because they've made more, done better. I mean, this is the American dream. Everyone, has the same opportunity here. So let's talk about a lady that just came into the office recently. She picked up the phone, called into the show, Heather, and then came in from Chevy Chase, Maryland. She's 55 years old. She's got about 8 years until she fully retires, $900,000 saved, a 7 on our risk scale, but her biggest problem was that she had no plan, and then one of her biggest concerns inside a situation where there's no retirement plan is that there was no tax plan. 95% of her money was in stock. Okay, she's 55. She's retiring in 8 years at 62, 63. Almost all in stock, investing as if she was 30, 35, 40. The advisor she's currently with recommended that, even though her risk tolerance is about a 7, and 70% of her money should be in stocks and ETFs and growth-focused funds, and et cetera. She felt like her investments were scattered. These are her words. I feel like my investments are scattered. I have no clear path to retire. I don't have a plan for taxes, and she's paying an advisor to manage her retirement plan. I wouldn't want to be that financial advisor. I mean, that just stinks for this lady. You shouldn't be paying somebody a management fee and an advisory fee if you don't clearly understand where you're headed and you don't have a comprehensive plan, not just an investment plan, a comprehensive plan to address all these things, because it all wraps in together with each other, right? So the solution for this lady, Heather, was to build out a comprehensive where do I stand plan to give her that clear path so she can see in 7 to 8 years when I do retire and plan on retiring, this is what my situation will look like. Don't just throw me in a basket of stocks and ETFs and tell me to go on my way. No, I want to hear from you, advisor. I want regular communication. I mean, she's having to reach out to the advisor just to get a conversation. The advisory firm should be proactively reaching out to their clients. We do it quarterly to schedule quarterly conversations and make sure everything's on track. And so that was a solution for her, a comprehensive where do I stand plan that includes a tax plan, the reduction of risk, a clear retirement income plan, and path forward that she could understand and follow and track together in a partnership with us. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this lady from Chevy Chase and you don't have a clear path forward for your retirement, you're not 100% confident that you can transition successfully into retirement, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Abe, you were just talking about the idea of not having a clear path, not having a plan in place for taxes and all the other things that are involved in retirement. So let's talk about the idea of financial services, the work that you do, because it was in the mid-'60s that Ralph Nader wrote a book called Unsafe at Any Speed. He was basically writing a tell-all, a condemnation of the auto industry, saying that Detroit knew the problems with their cars, but they were not telling anybody about it. And some say that now the same can be said about the financial industry. While many people believe they are going to be fine in retirement, the facts are that many financial plans will fail. Many people will run out of money. Is the financial industry failing in this area, in your opinion? And how are you handling conversations with folks that you see are headed for trouble?
We kind of just talked about it with this lady in Chevy Chase, and we'll talk about it again because here's another couple that called into the show with similar concerns. And although they're not working with an existing advisor, they're paying a lot in fund costs, which we'll talk about, which is really eating into their plan. And they didn't have confidence and clarity heading forward. So this couple just called into the show and just came into the office last week. They're from Frederick, Maryland. They have $1.5 million saved. They're in their mid-60s, retiring in about 5 or 6 years at 70. They're a 4 on our risk scale, so they're conservative. And a conservative investor, which is a lot of our clients, values protection, preservation, and sometimes a return of principal, even more than a return on principal, right? They want to go to sleep at night really well. They don't want to be worrying and super worried about what the stock ticker symbols are saying, at 4 o'clock on a Friday. They want to go about their life and know that their money is there, get decent returns, limit volatility, and all these things. And so when they came in for the complimentary second opinion and where do I stand plan, we found out that they had a huge income gap, meaning that at 70 years old, when they plan to retire, they need their portfolio to generate $100,000 of portfolio income, and they needed a path forward, an income plan, a comprehensive plan to show them how they could do that, right? And so I don't know that this couple realized that by the time they retire, they have so much work to do with their portfolio. So we spent time discussing, how we're different. Like, okay, you're not hiring an advisor just yet, but you've got XYZ funds with a big box firm. You're paying 50 to 60 basis points in fund costs, really high, expensive funds. You've accumulated $1.5 million, but you don't know how to cross over into phase 2 and full retirement successfully. This is our specialty. This is how we can help you do it. So we put together that income plan, showed them how we could address that income gap. It's really a retirement roadmap, right? Here's where you are. Here's the pros and cons. Here's where you could head if you work with us, so you can clearly see the differences. It gave them, Heather, a clear direction and path forward. We talked about distributions, portfolio income, taxes, reducing risk, healthcare, legacy. All of it is included in a comprehensive retirement roadmap. Really, GPS for your retirement, right? Yeah. If you go to a restaurant or any new venue or place or address and you haven't been there before, more than likely you're going to put into GPS, right? Into Apple Maps or Google Maps or whatever, unless you want to just a lot of us guys will just get in the car and say, I kind of have an idea of where it is. And then if your wife's in the car with you and you don't get there and you miss it and you make a wrong turn, you're really hearing it from your wife. At least I do. You could have put it in the stinking GPS, Abe. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this couple from Frederick and you've done a good job of saving, you don't know what you don't know. You might have expensive fund costs, right? You might have a huge income gap that you're not aware of. Maybe it's Social Security or taxes you're looking for more guidance on. Go to retirementkeyradio.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.